Now to a story that could just be a game changer for parents. New guidelines from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases say most babies should have foods with peanuts in them by 6 months of age. So joining us now is Dr. Nick Hartog, an allergist from Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Dr. Hartog, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So this is really just goes against everything that, even me as a parent, that we have been taught all along. What reactions, though, should parents be looking out for if they're going to do this?
So for the longest time leading up to about 2000, a lot of the guidelines said avoid foods that, and really did delay the introduction. So this is a big change.
It is.
And so some of the reactions to look for can be swelling of the mouth, hives, coughing, throwing up, things like that. But the guidelines and what they really stress is that in the low-risk infants, which are the kids that really, it's okay to just introduce at home without any evaluation. We don't expect any of those things to happen.
Okay, and that is the thing to stress, though, too, is that we're talking about low-risk infants, not ones where you actually have a history of allergies, peanut allergies specifically in your family. Now, we did air a segment about this at 5 o'clock, and we had asked viewers to send in their questions or post them on Facebook, and we had one viewer, Ashley Tina, writes on our Facebook page, can anyone explain why this would prevent allergies? Yeah,
so there's one hypothesis out there called the dual allergy hypothesis, which has really been backed up by science, that is the thought that your body sees the allergen or food in two different ways depending on where it's first introduced, whether it's the skin or through the mouth. And in those people that have eczema or severe eczema, are the kids we call high risk for allergies. Their food is first introduced a lot of times through the skin, and your body sees it differently and develops an allergic reaction. And so the goal is to introduce it through the mouth, where your body normally sees the food for the first time, and in that way your body will then form a protective or normal response to the food.
Right, so there really is a science to all of these guidelines being brought out once again. The other thing too is what happened to, only breastfeed for the first 6 months. I mean, that's what parents have been told again and again as well.
Yeah, and so this does seem to counteract a little bit of that. And so for the low-risk patients, we still say probably 4 to 6, probably closer to 6 months, you should introduce the foods. For the high risk, so an egg allergy or a previous history of severe eczema, you should introduce a little sooner. But one of the important follow-up questions of that study is that doing this in the introduction doesn't decrease the rate, the amount, or the length of breastfeeding, and it doesn't have any effect on growth either. And so while we're introducing some foods earlier, it doesn't have any effect on breastfeeding from what's been shown.
Dr. Nick Hartog, thank you so much from Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, because I know that a lot of people, they hear the study, they have a lot of questions. We appreciate your insight tonight.
Thank you for having me.